Hi, Evan. How are you?
Hi, Jackie. Good, good.
That's
Uh,
good.
yeah. I'm still enjoying our virtual environment, and I've got a heater under my desk at the moment.
Nice.
um, Jackie, I'm pretty excited to have you here today because you're. Um, some people would say you're one of the top mobile developers in the tech community in Australia.
Thank
Uh,
you.
you're welcome. You've got over 15 years of experience.
Yeah.
You've worked on projects for people like the TAB with their customer betting
Mm.
app and um, creating iOS remote control systems for RV
Yeah.
manufacturers internationally. You've done a lot of cryptocurrency. You're a Bitcoin
Yeah.
and crypto expert. So you've got
Yeah. Yeah.
you got
Yeah.
a lot of experience to share. But
Yeah.
what?
I worked across large companies like MyOp, REA,
Mm,
Equinix, and I also work on small startup companies like you just mentioned, the cryptocurrency apps. Yeah.
yeah, it's a
During the
really
past, yeah.
must be a really interesting. You must have had a really interesting career so far. But I guess what I'm particularly excited to hear about from you today is your thoughts on cross-platform and native
Oh.
versus non-native development on iOS and Android. And maybe rather than me asking you a bunch of specific questions, why don't
Mm.
you take us through maybe one of the experiences you've had doing this for clients and how
Yeah.
that went?
Yes, sure. So I remember it was 2 years ago. I joined a startup company as a tech lead of the mobile team. And that moment, we were only a very small team, two full-time developer, one part-time developer, and the team wants to support iOS and Android. And we also need to build our own mobile API. So at that moment, we made a decision and we don't want to write three different languages.
Mm,
We just want to use one single language for uh, API and iOS and Android. Then at that moment, it looks like React Native is the only choice and we have.
React Native.
Yeah, React Native.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we just the slogan is you write once, wrong everywhere. Yeah. Yeah. So it's a very small team, and we want to get the apps released as early as possible. We want to
Yeah.
get the feedback, and we don't want to spend too much time to learn different platforms, different languages.
Mm,
Yeah.
mm. So was the vision when you chose React Native initially, was the vision to um,
The vision was to share it, so we don't want to spend too much time to learn different language, and also we want to share the business logic across the platforms.
right?
Yeah, yeah. So then the most part of the code base could be shared. So then that's the vision. Yeah, to
Got it.
save the development effort.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So how did it go?
So it went smoothly at the very beginning and the very first 1 or 2 months, and then we got trouble. So yeah, so the app needs to it's not a standalone app. It need to talk to USB device.
Yeah,
So it's a crypto wallet, and the private key is stored in the USB device.
yeah,
So the app needs to call the native USB SDK to communicate with the USB device.
yep.
Then yeah, so then it turns out we not only need to write React Native, but also native code and lots of native code
Oh,
to
so the
use.
native code was necessary to communicate with the hardware itself
Yes, yes, you're right.
because it couldn't do it just straight out of React Native.
Yeah, yeah.
Got it.
And
Yep.
then and there were lots of technical issues with the when you need to communicate with between native and React Native.
Mm.
So yeah, it's a whole world of pain.
So so how did you're in this world of pain. What did you do to get out? Did you push through, or did you switch to native, or how did you handle it?
So after a few months, it turns out the code base is very hard to maintain. And the team made the decision to rewrite with native.
Right.
Yeah.
So how did you feel? So you had that was a pretty specific use case, right? It was, I guess the hurdle, the main issue was having to deal with third-party hardware and integrating that, right? So what was your general feel of React Native? Just overall, imagine that we're not talking about that specific case, right? There's no hardware involved. What would be your approach then?
Okay, I would like to say it's really case by case. If I join a startup company again, and if there's no external device to support, then maybe I would still like to use React Native because it's you can really release your app very quickly. The speed of development, I feel it's much faster than native.
Wow.
Yeah. You can roll out your app quickly, and you can get some user feedback or even get some cash back. Yeah, and very early stage. And so
yeah, that's a very good point. So I guess a lot of businesses, particularly at the beginning, would be concerned with how quickly they could get it out and how quickly they could get some money back from their product, even if. So how does that relate to whether or not you would invest in React Native at the beginning, or whether you would consider it later?
So let me see. If you want to just support a single platform, let me say, if you only want to use iOS because most of your user is using iPhone, then probably you just want to get iOS app only. And then after a few months, or a year, you want to support Android. Then native development would be the best choice.
Yeah.
But let's say if the user base is half, 50% is iOS user, 50% is Android user, and you want to support both, you don't want to lose any potential user. That's a business decision. If you made this decision, then, and if you only have a very limited development team, then probably you could try React Native.
Right.
Yeah. So
yeah, that makes sense. So let me see if I can summarize this from my perspective, and then we'll see if I'm absorbing all of this information properly. So it sounds like, in your opinion anyway, React Native is a great way to speed up development, particularly for cross-platform teams. But there can be some initial effort and investment in the learning curve, particularly if you've got devices and other potentially third-party components that you need to integrate. But if you have a limited budget and you want quick wins right at the beginning, then it's almost better to start native, where most of your users will get some cash flow going, and then consider cross-platform and React down the track. Am I getting it right?
Yeah.
Okay, great.
I think so.
Cool. All right. Maybe we'll leave it there. We might keep it short and sweet. Thanks for sharing that. Thanks for sharing that story. And of course, you are reachable on the Amplify Technology Collective website. You've got some code-based repositories from GitHub up there. You've got, I think you've got an interview or presentation you've done in the community a little while back if people want to see that. And of course, all of your experience is up there as well. So thanks again for sharing, Jackie.
Thank you. No worries.
All right. See ya.
Yeah, see ya.
Bye.